work my way out. So then I'll do the face, design the face however I want it to look. I like to have like this one right here is called like a guilloche pattern. So it's kind of like a guilloche pattern. So it's kind of like a carved effect to it. So when you're looking at it, if you just come across it, you're like, okay, that's cool. There's not that much detailing, but then once you look at it, you can see all like the lines and everything. You're like, oh wow, there's more detail in it than I really thought, from a distance. So
Gotcha.
I like to, very detailed, but it's classy at the same time.
Very classy.
Yeah, so it's not really crazy, but it's enough, to stand out.
Yeah, it looks like you could wear it with different things too.
So you have on a t-shirt right now, you can wear it with a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I do it all the time, sweats, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you could mess around and, have a suit on or whatever. So
you sure can.
You know what I mean? So.
And let me ask you get a lot of compliments on your watch.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, and then so people will say, that's a nice watch, where you get that from? You're like,
and I smile, like, yo, I do it. And they're like, nah, yeah, this is me. And I give them a business card. Yo, that's crazy. I never met anybody that had a watch company before. I'm like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
you talked about the guilloche and there being different watches.
Mm-hmm.
How many different watch patterns are there?
So many. Like, there's just
hundreds and
thousands. There's a bunch. And then, you can, and that's the beautiful thing about watches, that you can be as creative as you want to. I've seen stuff that like it has like raised like emblems on it, and it really looks, it's really like 3D. Like, people, I've seen one that had like a spider in it. It was crazy. Like, you can really get as creative as you want to. Like, the patterns are, if you can think of it, you can put it on a watch, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So these manufacturers are nasty with it.
They're nice with it, yes.
And you sit down. So what inspires you to create the patterns that you create? Because I know, as I'm getting to know Eddie Johnson, I know you're a Christian.
Yes.
It's coming from a spiritual place.
Right.
But so the creativity is being driven by God,
Mm-hmm.
which all creativity is driven by God,
Right.
whether you acknowledge it or not.
Right.
But then with that, you're trying to achieve a goal and an objective.
Right.
What going through your mind when you creating this stuff, man?
A lot of time it's just, I just kind of sit there and just kind of freestyle it. But my latest one is called the Lore Collection. So I have a fish tank at home, and the design on that was like, so the face of it looks like fish scales. So I kind of like just looked at my fish one day, and I'm like, yo, because my dad was like, you know what, yeah, you can find inspiration from anything. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I guess being, artistic and creative like that, you can find inspiration from anything. You could look at anything and be like, man, I could kind of put that down and really turn it into something. So I looked at my fish one day, and I'm like, yo, that would be cool to, have like a fish scale pattern on the watches. Depending on what colors I want to use, it can really make it really, really pop out and stand out. And then like the bezel on it, it's kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it, but I have like gravel at the bottom of the tank. So on the bezel, it looks like little pieces of gravel on it. So it's crazy.
Oh, you give me the chills right now, man.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so like initially I'm like, yo, I don't know how it's gonna look, but I'm gonna just go with it. I'm gonna roll with it. So when I got it in my hands, I'm like, yo, this is my best work right here. This is my best work yet. So every single piece that I have, like every the latest piece that I have, I'm like, this is my best work. So to me, I think everything keeps getting better over time. So
So how is the business doing?
It's going well. It's really picking up, especially like after I saw you at Fashion Week.
Yeah. Things
really started to pick up. I actually that weekend, I had a billboard up in Times Square, so it was fitting. You know what I mean? So things have really been picking up since then.
I know you took some pictures out
there. Yeah, a bunch
of y'all was flicking it
yeah.
crazy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You talked about there's some famous people. Talk to me about the famous people that own your watches.
So I got Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has one. My blackout. That was from my first Premier collection. That's probably like the most popular watch out of all of them. So he has one. I I have Chris Bosh with one.
Nice.
He had it's called the Royalty. So it's rose, gold, and black. I like that one a lot too.
Ooh.
I had a couple people. Mario Winans, he has a couple of them. Yeah.
Nice.
And then a couple other actors, like Broadway actors. And,
Cool.
different people. Yeah.
And then conversations with Malika's gonna have one too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he gonna be able to say that I got one.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And talk to me about business, because within business, yeah, we gotta have business strategy.
Mm-hmm.
We also have to learn how to lead people and to work along with
Right.
others.
Yeah.
What has been one of your biggest challenges in learning how to work with multiple people to achieve the goal of Verdure Watches? You know, day in and day out.
Yeah, I would really say, it's funny you say that. I would really say like trust. You have to trust people to, kind of align with your vision and trust their work and trust that they can do the things that they say. Like, so I kind of always, heard that in order to be a successful business person, you have to have, you specialize in what you specialize in, and then the things that you're not so good at, you have to, have other people to do those things for you. So kind of like putting all the pieces together, like I heard this one example, if you run a bakery, you have all these ingredients and recipes. You want to spend your time coming up with, new recipes, training your bakers,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. You don't necessarily want to be in the front, being the cashier, taking the
Right.
money, because then that kind of takes away from what you're great at.
Right.
So with the biggest thing that I've, been dealing with now is trusting those people to be able to handle the things that I'm not good at, and really helping me take the business and the brand to a whole nother level, because they are experts in their field and I'm an expert in mine. So
Right.
yeah.
And you talked about being shy and not wanting to be the face
Yeah.
of the brand.
That was definitely, that was, so initially I didn't want to be in the forefront at all. Like, I just want to kind of, do my own thing. And
That's not your style.
Nah, I'm a really low key, chill kind of person. I'm not a rah-rah guy. I don't like to, have, everybody, hey, look at me. I'm not that type of guy. But I guess, with this brand, people want to have something to kind of relate to, or they want to know who's behind everything, just so they can, have some type of faith in the brand, or have some type of, I don't know what the word is, but, just kind of, know who's behind everything, know what the story of everything is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
once I realized that, I'm like, you know what, okay, I got to do that, God has me here for a reason to, share my story and share how I got to this place. So why not just, be out here and, I don't have to be all out there like that, but to let people know who I am, my story and all that. So just, over the last couple of years, I've kind of, really got more comfortable with doing that and, being, letting people know who I am, basically.
Yeah. Because there's a balance. You could still be, low key and in your lane and not rah-rah.
Right.
And be a leader. Because
Right.
there's different types of leaders.
Exactly.
You could be like Trump, never shut your goddamn mouth.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's people who follow that.
Right. There is.
And then you could be more melancholy. And because the bottom line is, you say what you mean, you
Right.
mean what you say.
Right.
You say what you mean, but don't say it mean. Right?
Exactly.
You can get your point across.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a little bit of all of it at different times in my leadership. I'm not like Trump, but I can be out there, and then I can be, I find, Eddie, that what business has done for me and being an entrepreneur is that it introduced me to a Malik that I didn't know was there. And it has a way of continuing to recreate the individual and help the individual evolve as a human. So there's things that I didn't think that I was capable of.
Right.
Then I find out I am. And it's entrepreneur is sort of been like God's own personal tool in shaping my character.
Yeah.
It's deep,
Yeah,
man.
it really is. It really is. Like you said, you find out things that you kind of like didn't really know about yourself, or maybe you didn't think that you were capable of doing it. But then you once you get into it, it's kind of like you don't really have, not that you don't have a choice, but you don't have a choice, and that duty calls, that you got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
So once you get in it and you start doing it, you're like, okay, cool. I'm like you said, I'm learning about myself. I'm learning different qualities or traits that I didn't know was there. Now is there, and now I get to fine tune that, and maybe help other people, or other people help me, and fine tuning those things. So yeah, definitely.
Question: have you? This is a very important lesson in business, and I'm pretty sure when people from your family watch this, and different people, they're gonna be like, yeah, that brother Malik, yeah, he's an entrepreneur. He kind of knows what he's talking about. I don't know everything, but I'm just saying,
Gotcha.
and they probably know more than me. But have you learned yet the lesson of saying no and saying no comfortably?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I was always the type to not really want to hurt people's feelings, but then being in business, like, not to say feelings don't matter, because they do, but you have to be okay with saying no, because sometimes I like to say, not all situations are good situations, and not every opportunity to make money isn't a good opportunity. So you have to be able to, have that discernment and know, like, okay, is this a good road to take? I guess kind of, looking further ahead than what's right in your face. You got to kind of, anticipate other things and see what can come from it. So yeah, if there's a bad situation, or if it's a deal that, it's not very beneficial, you have to be okay with saying no, and knowing that, okay, this is for the best. So yeah, definitely learning to
saying no to business decisions, saying no to people who depend on you, saying no to employees or somebody who, sometimes people get so used to the yeses, that they forget that, hey, I could also say no to that question. You wanted that week off, you actually can't have that week off. And if this was Verizon, or if it was Google, you would be submitting it, and the no would be coming from someone that you really don't know. And you would take the no better. But because you're around me, you might have come to my pool party at my house, where we've gone out to dinner a couple of times. I'm black. You're black too, but I'm black. So you kind of view me different in your employment with me. That you think that, oh, Malik's so cool, and he's such a good man. That, oh, I need to go away for so and so for a week, and I'm like, no, and now you're mad. No. Just like I could say yes, I could say no. You know what I'm saying? And so let's talk a little bit about, as we begin to wrap it up, let's talk a little bit about, assets and liabilities personally. What do you think is your, before we get to the asset, what do you think is one of your biggest liabilities? Individually, as a person, something that you feel that you kind of need to work on a little more to be better at what you do?
I guess I would say, sometimes maybe my attitude. Not to say that. I mean, I guess everybody has like their certain ways, but sometimes my attitude, I'm not like, I kind of want to move a little too quickly. I kind of expect results a little bit too fast, not realizing that there's a process to everything. So having more patience, that's a big one for me. Is being patient and really knowing that, okay, if it's going to be, something great, it's going to take time. It's going to there's going to be some things that go along the way that may go wrong, but it's for the best. It's like kind of the refining process. Trusting in that refining process. That
It's rough though.
it is.
That's
it
one
is.
of mine too,
Yeah.
Eddie. Oh wow.
It is.
Yeah, I think for me that's one of mine too. Even though over the years I have learned it more, it still comes back.
Mm-hmm.
The things we think we get over are just kind of like laying dormant,
Mm-hmm.
and they resurface. And you're like, oh, I thought I worked past, I thought I worked past that. Like,
Yeah.
I think the other thing for me is sometimes I don't think people really have my best interests at heart.
Yes, that's mine too. Yeah. It's like, like I said, before, like, people want to work with you. Yeah, your stuff is great, this and that. And I'm thinking like, what are you trying to get out of it? Like, do you really think that? Are you really trying to help me, or are you just trying to help yourself in a certain way that may affect me, oppositely? Like, I don't know. It's like you said, just kind of seeing if people really do have your best interests. You know what I mean? So that's definitely one of mine.
Yeah, me too.
Uh-huh.
And I find that, so is that not, because when we have these conversations, I like to have these conversations so that we can kind of grow together,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I don't know, man, is that kind of, am I not trusting God in those moments?
That's, you know what? Then, when you think deeper on that, it's like, yeah, like God will let you know if, a certain situation, or like I always like to pray, like before I go into anything, Lord, like, is this something that you have for me? Or if it's not, please show me so I can get out of it, so I can get away from it. Yeah.
Right. You were the first thing spoken.
Yeah.
But he don't show us like that, right? We
Right.
kind of are shown through experience.
Right. Yeah.
But business is so tricky because business is so real and in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And, I see my character flaws in real time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I see it in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the paperwork don't lie. The profits and
Yeah.
the assets and liabilities,
Right.
the red and the black, it doesn't lie. And it's a reflection of us as the people who are behind the brand.
It is.
There's no way around that.
Right.
If the business things aren't working out, it's because of something I did or didn't do,
Right.
Eddie.
Absolutely.
It's on me, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And not everybody's built for this, man.
It's true. It's so true. So true. Like
I know it's speechless,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
it's like it's sink or swim.
Yes.
And then you invest, and the more you put in, the more you're like, this thing gotta work.
Yeah.
So what do you think are your strong points?
That I like to, before I give an answer to anything, I like to really think of things. Like I like to say that I'm a thinker, so I'm really trying to just, see everything from a far perspective. Like, if I do this now, what's gonna come of that? I guess a couple months from now or a couple of years from now. Like, what are the consequences, whether they be good or bad? So I guess I would say one of mine is, the ability to really process information and really see if it's worth it in the long run. I mean, sometimes you have to make a decision quickly, but in that you use your God-given abilities and that knowledge that he's giving you to be able to make that decision and really distinguish on whether it's a good move or it's not, stuff like that.
Do you maybe I'm jumping back to liabilities now, but do you overthink
Yeah,
a lot of stuff?
yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, like things actually.
I got a big head, and I got a big head for a reason. I overthink stuff. Like I was telling you about my kids. Like sometimes they ask me a simple question, and I take them all around the block, before I get them an answer. Sometimes the answers are simple.
Yeah.
Most times they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not simple.
Right.
I'm a complicated MFer, man.
So am I. Yeah, it's like, nah, it can't be that easy. Like, maybe there's something else going on in there. So let me think a little bit harder, take another day to sit on it and, and really let it marinate before I really make a decision when the decision is kind of simple, like you said, so.
It's kind of, yeah, I think I overthink. I'm like, sometimes I could be the coach where I'm coaching against myself. We've been running 41 dive and 26 track, and it's working. And I think that the other coach is gonna call something counter to that.
Yeah.
And so I call a play that, why you ain't run 26 track, dog? Like they can't stop it. You got one of the best tackles.
Right.
He's killing.
Right.
You mess around and be Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
On the one,
that's
man.
That's what I was thinking of.
I don't want to be Pete Carroll on the one.
Right, keeping it simple, yeah.
Keep it simple. Run the ball, man.
Yep.
Win the Super Bowl, Malik.
Yep.
All right. Couple questions I always ask in the close, and then we're going to let you kind of plug where people can find you. Give me one word to describe. No, before we get to that. You're on an island, you got a choice of one snack that you can have.
Right.
A genie comes and he's going to give you one of everything. You got a choice of one snack. What would that snack be?
Snack. Oof. I would say some type of like trail mix.
Nah, you gotta give me your favorite.
favorite
So that's
one?
your favorite trail mix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He says you get one meal that you can eat every day. What would that one meal be? What's your favorite dish?
It's gonna be some pasta with chicken in it.
Some pasta with chicken, some chicken parmesan.
Yeah.
Oh, me, I might have that today. One drink, what would that be?
Water.
Water.
I love water.
Gotcha. Yeah, you look like your skin is all. One song. What would that one song be?
One song.
I love hitting people.
Yeah.
One song.
I have to say, this one song is called "It's About Jesus."
Okay.
Yeah.
Made by who?
It was Noel Jones's choir.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Noel Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be your one song. Give me one word to describe Verdure watches.
Class.
If your life was about to come to an end and you knew it, and you had like one sentence that you wanted to say to all of your loved ones and everybody who's ever supported Verdure watches and everything, what would that one sentence be?
I love you, and I thank you for believing in me and believing in Verdure.
And in closing, give me one word to describe Eddie Johnson.
I would say teachable. Like I grew up playing sports my whole life, and all of my coaches, what they would always let me know, like, or let my parents know, he's very coachable. He's very, teachable. So I like to, I like to, I like to learn, like growing up playing basketball, my dad would always be like, you need to be a student of the game. So, being a student, you learn things, you don't know all the answers. So you go to those wise people that may have the answers or may have gone through, those things that,
Yes, sir.
come along.
Yes, sir.
And, you inquire to them, the Bible says to seek words of wisdom. So I want to grow in wisdom. I want to be a wise man. And I feel like being wise means you learn from people that have that wisdom. So a lot of times that comes from older people. So I've always, I was the youngest in my family by 12 years for a long time. So I always grew up, so I always grew up around older people. So it was always easy for me to sit and listen and hear those stories. And then now, as I'm growing older now, I get to, something happens, I think back on what I heard, like, okay, cool, I can kind of put that into play, just how they told me. And a lot of times things end up just how they said, and, I know I'm okay. So yeah, I would say teachable. I like to, be, to learn and listen and, grow. Yeah.
Give me your favorite Bible verse.
John 14:6. I have a couple. John 14:6. Jesus says unto them, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me." And also
give me the other ones.
Proverbs, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. So, yeah. Yep.
Tell everybody how they can find out about you.
So you can go to my website, Verdure, Verdure-watches.com. I'm also on Twitter at Verdure_watches. Instagram is also at Verdure_watches, and Facebook is Verdure_watches. So everything is kind of the same across the board. So, yep, find me there.
Listen, another great episode, Conversations with Malik, Eddie Johnson, Verdure Watches, Black owned, Black excellence. If you want to watch, listen, buy his watch, okay? I'm getting one. Let's support our own, and let's support the brother's class, personified. And listen, I end the show like I normally do. Brother Malik loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.